you've been on TikTok for a while, you must have heard about a ton of Africans telling you that Europeans stole Africa's resources. Now, there's a lot to say about that. First and foremost, most of these resources are still in Africa.
Hello guys, I'm your host Larry. Welcome back to my channel. To my returning subscribers, thank you, and to my new subscribers, welcome on board. And greetings all the way to my Caribbean families, friends, brothers and sisters. So in today's video, there is this white person who came out and claimed that our leaders, they are the ones selling out our resources, and that they stopped, the whites stopped buying it, or rather taking it from us legally. So let's dive into this video and then I'll be back with more comments.
You've been on TikTok for a while, you must have heard about a ton of Africans telling you that Europeans stole Africa's resources. Now, there's a lot to say about that. First and foremost, most of these resources are still in Africa, and they're not being stolen by Europeans. They're actually being sold to Europeans by the African state leadership. Your own elites are robbing you. It's not us doing it, not anymore. The real issue, of course, is why aren't Africans using their own resources to do things? Why does Mr. Beast have to go to Kenya to build water wells? Why didn't the Kenyan government do it themselves? I suppose the Kenyan government could have done it themselves. They just chose not to do it. Nigeria is now a country of almost 220 million people, the largest country in Africa. But they only produce about 10% of the electricity that a small country like Hungary. Hungary only has 10 million people, but they produce 10 times as much electricity as Nigeria does. I mean, I know you want to have your Wakanda, right? But do you expect white people to give it to you? No, you're supposed to build it yourself. Having said all this, it is, of course, obvious that we Europeans in the North need to prepare for a possible, potential African rise in terms of technology and therefore also in terms of military capacity. And that means we in Europe need to already start looking ahead and thinking ahead about how we are going to win the war against Africa, because there will be a future war between Europe and Africa.
And some of you will tell me that what we are saying on this app is not going anywhere. You can see that they are hearing everything we are saying. Everything the youths are saying, we are hearing. If I show you the kind of DMs that I have, the kind of things people send in my DM, you'll be shocked that I'm still on this app talking. Let me tell you, my brothers and sisters, our leaders are the ones killing us. You have heard from him. He said, our resources are being sold to the West by our African leaders, which is true. The West is not entirely gone. The West are the ones manipulating our leaders because they are still here. Some of our leaders are like puppets, controlled by the West. Someone like Gaddafi, they saw the kind of development he was doing to his people, and they manipulated his people against him. If you see any African leader that the West doesn't like, that the West is kicking against, know that that African leader is doing something good in the life of his people. Look at the young man in Guinea. How many coups have been plotted against him since he overthrew the president? He has chased France out of his country. Now, people are even mobilizing against him, including the Nigeria's president. So guys, let me tell you all, African youths, this is the time. This is the only tool we have to stop this. This is the time for us to let them know that we know what they are up to. These our leaders are up to. For how long are we continue to fold? We are going to continue to fold our arms and watch our brothers drown in the Mediterranean Sea in search of greener pastures with our colonizers. For how long are we going to watch our sisters being brutalized in Saudi Arabia by the people they are working with them as mates? For how long are our graduates in Africa going to continue sleeping under the bridges with certificates in their hands with no jobs? For how long are the African youths ready to die because they don't have good healthcare system? African youths, you might have 100 followers, you might have 200. speak life into this nation. It's time for you to stand up. We cannot continue to suffer like this. We deserve better. Our motherland has blessed us. Our nation has blessed us with everything. Without Africa, the West is nothing. Everything about the West comes from Africa. They cannot even talk about history. They cannot even talk about their own history without mentioning Africa. It's impossible. So guys, this is the time. I won't overemphasize. I won't over-labor this point, but this is the time. I will continue talking. For those of you who always come for me and say, oh, leave our president. I will not leave any president. If you are doing anyhow or you collect anyhow, if you lie, you come to my DM or you send your people to my DM to threaten me. That is the least they can do. They will not shut this mouth up. The hunger for change in Africa is in me, and you cannot even kill it. If you are an African youth and you are not tired of this suffering, then something is wrong with you. Something is really wrong with you. Listen to how this man is saying it. Was it difficult for the Kenyan government to provide its people with borehole waters? Why does it have to be Mr. Beast coming all the way to come and do it? Is it difficult for the Kenyan government to do it? No. But why do they choose to treat their own people like this? I'm sorry that Kenya collected a stray bullet here. Even Nigeria is used as an example. Nigeria cannot boast of electricity. A giant of Africa cannot boast of electricity. The person that did us this in Africa needs to pay so that we should be free.
Once again, welcome back. So guys, I hope you've watched the video up to the end. And we can begin by saying that most of our leaders are really self-greedy. Most of our African leaders are self-greedy. How about those Jamaican leaders? So, the reason why I'm saying that our leaders are greedy, it's because these leaders, they're becoming the puppets of these white, or rather the foreigners, or the colonizers. These leaders, they're being fooled. They're being taken advantage of. Being given millions of dollars to sell us out, to sell our nations. As a leader, why would you sell your own people just for a few millions? These people chose you. They believed in you. They chose you to lead them. They had their trust in you. They knew you had the or rather vision, a good vision for the country, for the well-being of your country. And now you end up betraying them. Our own leaders, they are the ones betraying us. For what? So, we've had in the video the guys, the lady and the white man talk about Mr. Beast. For those who know, I believe everybody knows Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast does a good job. Generally, a very good job. And recently, we had Mr. Beast coming to Kenya. He built a lot of wells. I congratulate him for that, and I appreciate him for that. But that is that's just to make these African leaders be ashamed, or rather our leaders here in Africa and the leaders of Jamaica to be ashamed of themselves. For us to, why is this person coming all the way to this country, does these projects that's gonna help millions of people, builds wells, builds houses, builds hospitals, schools, and he is not a leader of that nation. He's not a citizen of that nation. But well, these leaders that we got, they can never feel ashamed of themselves. They can never. Instead, they just lie down and watch him. Like, you should be ashamed of yourselves. The nations, or rather these people, really chose you. They voted for you. They wanted you in power because they believed in you. But now you're selling out our treasures. You betraying us. You so self-greedy. You taking all these monies into your pockets. You buying yourself fancy houses, fancy cars. Look at the health facilities, the health centers in our countries. Instead of improving them, when one of your families gets sick, you take them abroad to the foreign countries, to Europe, to get the best treatments. You're leaving out your own people. Why don't you improve the health centers in your country? Improve them. Let these foreigners say, like, in Africa there's best for the health facilities. We can get there. You taking your kids in Europe, in all those nations, to get the best studies. Why don't you do that in your country? Why don't you improve the schools, school centers in your country? These leaders that we voted into power, they turned their back on us. They are betraying us. They are oppressing us, just as the colonizers did. Why are we going through the same thing we went through during the colonization period? We chose you because you are one of our own. We chose you because we believed you lead us the right way. But why are you not even doing that? Why are you oppressing us? Look at the poor people. In Jamaica, we had I don't remember the division, but we were told that the garbage is blocking the main road. The garbage trucks used to come twice, but now they are not. So the garbage, they are full on the road. It's blocking the road. And to our leaders, to the PM, are the people doing their work really? The garbage trucks coming to the area to collect the garbage twice a week, that should be enough. This garbage full on the streets, they are making people get diseases. People are getting diseases when you don't have proper medical facilities in your country. What do you want them to do? You can't take care of the health facilities. Look at the rate of unemployment in our countries. Our countries, we are in a position to produce the best engineers, the best architects in our country. But instead, these opportunities, they are being given to the foreigners. Leaving out our own people. Our own people are being oppressed. The poor are continuing to be the poorest. Let's follow the leadership of Ibrahim Traore. Our countries has enough treasures, have enough resources. Before we export them to other nations, let's take care of our own first. You all know the story of Gaddafi. We all know what happened. and why he was killed. So guys, please, to our African leaders and to Jamaican leaders, please, let's take care of our own country. Let's take care of our own people first, before we can even think of exporting our resources to other countries. So guys, I'm your host Larry. Until we meet again, peace out.